Okay, let's just dive right into this. 41%. According to a massive study of 786 former Tour de France cyclists, that is the exact reduction in mortality they experienced compared to the general population. 41%. It's a staggering figure, right? It immediately begs the question, what exactly is happening inside the bodies of these athletes that gives them such an incredible survival advantage? Now, we all know physical activity is good for you, but the depth of this transformation, it goes way, way beyond just burning a few calories.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to explore the transformational, inside-out power of regular exercise. We'll be looking at two fascinating pieces of research that show how movement doesn't just change our bodies, but actually fundamentally alters our minds. We're going to take a journey from the microscopic stem cells residing deep inside the human heart, all the way to middle school report cards. It's a complete, holistic upgrade, and honestly, the science connecting the two is absolutely incredible.
So here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, the athlete's heart. Number 2, cellular growth and renewal. Then we'll pivot to the mind to explore number 3, the psychosocial connection. And finally, number 4, sports and academic success.
Section 1, the athlete's heart, structural upgrades. So when someone starts a regular, intensive exercise routine, and we're talking at least 6 months of solid training, their cardiovascular system literally goes through a radical architectural renovation. This whole constellation of adaptations is known as the athlete's heart, and it turns the organ into a highly efficient pump. For previously untrained folks who commit to this kind of intensive exercise, resting and submaximal exercising heart rates drop by typically 5 to 20 beats per minute. But why does that happen? Well, it's because there's a roughly 20% increase in stroke volume. That means the heart is pumping way more blood with every single beat. Structurally, all 4 chambers of the heart actually enlarge, and the heart wall thickens mildly. This results in greater overall cardiac mass, which is largely driven by the increased size of the myocardial cells themselves. Pretty amazing, right?
Now, there used to be this dogma in fitness that endurance athletes get one type of heart growth and resistance-trained athletes get a totally different one. But look at this data breakdown from a meta-analysis of over 90 studies. Endurance-trained athletes have a left ventricular mass of around 232 grams. Resistance-trained athletes, they are right behind them at 220 grams. Now compare both of those to sedentary controls, who are sitting way down at 166 grams. So the really crucial takeaway here is that whether you're out running marathons or hitting the gym to lift heavy weights, intense physical training significantly increases your heart's volume and mass compared to just living a sedentary lifestyle.
Section 2, cellular growth and renewal, the microscopic magic. For the longest time, it was actually believed that the human heart just couldn't repair itself. Once the damage was done, that was it. But researchers have identified ECSCs, or endogenous cardiac stem and progenitor cells. Basically, these are small, primitive, self-renewing stem cells that literally live right there in the adult heart. Now, while their baseline activity is pretty low, they have this profound, multipotent ability to differentiate and create brand new heart muscle cells and capillaries over your entire lifespan. And you want to guess what triggers them into action?
Exercise. This illustration brilliantly captures the difference between healthy heart growth and, well, bad heart growth. Look at the pathological heart model, like one damaged by a heart attack. The overall size of the heart increases, sure, but the walls thin out, muscle cells die, and they're replaced by this stiff, fibrotic scar tissue. The stem cells essentially become dysfunctional. It's often totally irreversible. But then check out the physiological heart of an endurance athlete. Here, the heart size also increases, but the chamber enlargement is totally proportional to the wall thickness. And most importantly, look at those little blue dots. Endurance exercise actually activates those resident ECSCs we were just talking about. It sparks muscle and vessel renewal, leading to normal or even improved cardiac function. Your heart is literally regenerating itself from the inside out.
Okay, so we've established that physical exercise radically fortifies the heart, all the way down to the cellular level. But that actually leads us to a really fascinating pivot point for this explainer. How do these physical changes translate to the classroom? Like, if movement optimizes the biological machine, what is it doing to the psychological state of a young, developing mind?
Section 3, the psychosocial connection, rewiring self-perception.
To answer that, we're pulling data from an incredible cross-sectional analysis that studied a massive sample size, 3,186 middle and high school students in North Carolina. The researchers used something called a latent variable structural equation model. Now, without getting too bogged down in all the heavy statistics, this basically means they were able to map out a complex multi-step web of cause and effect relationships right from the survey data.
The sheer scale of this study is immense, which gives some serious weight to the behavioral domino effect we're about to unpack.
Let's look at how this builds, step by step. Researchers have known for a while that there's a link between physical activity and academics, but this model maps the exact psychological pathway. It all starts with step 1, participation in school sports. That physical exertion directly leads to step 2, an increase in positive body weight image, meaning the student really values and feels better about their physical self. Then, that boost in body image acts as a kind of stepping stone, directly fueling step 3, higher global self-esteem. They literally just have more confidence in their own worth. And finally, that compounding psychological sequence culminates in step 4, higher academic achievement. It's an incredible chain reaction.
And the survey data quantified this beautifully. Compared to non-participants, students who engaged in school sports showed a 5.5% higher score in positive body weight image. They also showed a 4.8% higher score in global self-esteem. Now, when you're a developing middle or high school student navigating all that awkwardness, those percentage boosts in how you view your body and your own self-worth, those are absolutely monumental. Physical activity is effectively acting as this powerful engine for psychological resilience.
Section 4. Sports and academic success, the ultimate outcome. So, here is the ultimate outcome of all this. 6.1%. When the researchers looked at recent report card grades, the raw academic achievement scores were 6.1% higher for students participating in school sports compared to those who weren't. Through that complex pathway of bolstered body image and elevated self-esteem we just walked through, the physical activity partially mediated a very tangible, highly measurable increase in their grades. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, well, isn't that true of literally any after-school club? Well, the researchers actually tested an alternative model, looking strictly at non-sports extracurricular activities. Things like student government, drama, or service clubs. And while those are totally wonderful activities, and they certainly involve a lot less sweating, sports showed a distinct and mathematically stronger total effect on academic achievement. The standardized total effect for sports was 0.225, compared to just 0.170 for non-sports activities. So, movement, sweat, and physical exertion actually offer a unique preferred pathway to cognitive and academic enhancement.
And that brings us to our final thought for today. We started out by looking at how exercise enlarges the heart chambers, boosts stroke volume, and literally awakens dormant stem cells to renew cardiac tissue. Then, we saw how that exact same physical activity builds a bridge right to a student's psychology, forging stronger body image, global self-esteem, and ultimately, better grades. It leaves us with this really powerful question to chew on. By fortifying the heart at a cellular level, are we simultaneously building the foundation for a stronger, more confident mind? The data strongly suggests the answer is a resounding yes. The mind and the body aren't these two separate domains, they are one beautifully connected system. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to keep moving for your heart and for your mind.